Hello, I want to talk about Shadow of the Erd Tree and why I think it has the potential to be not all that super great. For one, it's post-game content, it seems like. Now, I've avoided all... I'll just give you a real quick TLDR. I've avoided all spoilers on this. I know very little about it, and I'm a relatively proficient Souls player. Like, I can do a no-hit run in, like, some of the older Souls games. So this is not just going to be, like, random scrub crying fucking skill issue left and right. But the two biggest complaints that people have with Elden Ring is that the post-game, well, not really the post-game, just the late game, drags on forever. And part of why it drags on is enemy stats just get way too high. To put this into perspective, the stat increase from Lendel to the Giant Mountain to Fair Missoula to the Hagel Tree, each of those zones is about the equivalent increase of an entire new game cycle in, like, Dark Souls 1. It's genuinely that big of a stat bump, which is fucking crazy. To someone like me, it's just not a big deal. It's like, whatever, I don't care. I'm just gonna parry most of the trash mobs anyway and just one-shot them. But, like, it does make it so that if I get hit just one time, I'm losing, like, 50-60% of my health. And this DLC is gonna be an even higher level area than that. So if we follow the natural progression here, like, are these mobs gonna hit you for, like, 1,300 per, like, basic attack? So if you ever get hit by a double-upped gank encounter, you just instantly die? Because that sounds like it has the potential to be really not fun. Dark Souls 2 did that, and that was one of the biggest complaints in that game, is you get touched one time, and it's just, like, guaranteed death. So we have potential for that. Second off, this is a $50 DLC. They are charging $50 a deluxe edition, and the game itself is only, like, $60. So I'm fully expecting... because I got about 200, 300-ish hours in that ballpark out of Elden Ring before I put it down and moved on to other games. I'm expecting to get about 150-plus hours out of this DLC. And that's on them. They set it at the same price as the base game. So if this ends up only being like a 10-hour experience that you can quickly run through, I'm going to be incredibly fucking angry about that. For the simple fact that they're charging what, like, an MMO expansion would cost you. And an MMO expansion is expected to be just about as big as the base game. So I'm fully expecting this to just be Elden Ring 2. And if it's not, if it's like Elden Ring, if it's like 30% the size of Elden Ring, we're going to have a massive fucking problem. Because that is a ripoff. That means the DLC should cost about $20, $30. And I know there's going to be some, like, people who love to lick corporate boots out there that hear that. Oh, you think that the DLC should be the size of the main game? Let's not call this a DLC. If they're going to have a deluxe edition and they're going to charge base game prices, this is an expansion pack. This is not a DLC. And an expansion pack is basically just a sequel. That's how it's always been in every other game. So... and then finally, the last thing I want to talk about, this DLC is supposed to take place after Moog. This is like post-game content. So this is like, so in my mind, this is an entire another Elden Ring stapled on to the worst part of Elden Ring. And I don't know, to me, that just has a big cause for alarm. Because, like, you're taking the worst part of the game and you're going to, in my mind at least, extend it out to be the length of the entire game. Because Elden Ring is already just a big slog. Like, I have a hard time replaying Elden Ring, because if I want to play it optimally, I'll spend like 2-3 hours just gathering everything. Then I start playing the game. Then I just blow through it in like another 2 hours until I get to like Fair Missoula, where enemies start taking a while to kill and can kill me in like 1 or 2 hits. And it's like, oh, okay. I'm in that part of the game now. I kind of want to just stop playing now and go... Like, I'd rather replay the first, you know, like, Lunaria and Lendel and stuff. I'd rather just replay that than replay, like, Fair Missoula. And this is all prediction. So, hopefully, you know, fingers crossed it comes out and it just remedies all these problems. But those are the reasons why I think that this DLC has the potential to not be that great. It could either fall short in length for the price that they're charging. It's already in a part of the game that most critics would agree is kind of hard to sit through, especially on repeat playthroughs. And if it's just going to be more Elden Ring late game, then I think it's going to be not that great, because Elden Ring late game is not what makes it good. It's the sense of mystery and discovery and wonder leading up to that late game. Okay, second off, I want to talk about this. This genuinely pisses me off. Okay, if you just want the rant side of things, I'm just going to timestamp this. This actually pisses me off. So, Fetch Your Life apparently got early access to the DLC.
But of course, you can find out more about characters you may already know.
They have a whole 120-hour review already? Like, what?
Enemies and mini-bosses going about as will diversify gameplay.
Like, I'm not going to watch this video. I don't know if this is just them talking about the DLC or a whole game review, because they're just a trash clickbait games media outlet like everyone else. But, like, dude, what the fuck? First off, Fetch Your Life is known for sucking at video games. They are absolute dog shit at every game they play, if you've ever watched their streams. So if it took them 120 hours, I'm expecting it's only going to take me like 20 hours. You might say that's super narcissistic or arrogant. I've been around the block probably longer than you person listening to this have been playing video games. Okay, I'm fully well aware of how shit these games journalist people are. So that's already concerning. That they're charging expansion prices for something that probably isn't even going to last. Like, is only going to be like just an extra act on the game. But second off, this already means most of the secrets have been discovered. Like, they already have guides ready to go. This same exact thing happened with Remnant of the Ashes 2, by the way. The secret Archon quest, people already had full guides for it day one, like before the game was even ready. Because between data miners and people getting early copies, like, this is the biggest plague on modern gaming. One of the biggest plagues on modern gaming. The early access journalist review. I think journalists should get the game at the same time as everyone else. And I think they should have to play through and review. Funny, though, if that was the case, you would see that most journalists don't get their review done until, like, fucking 3 weeks after, you know, the DLC comes out. And everyone's already formed an opinion on it. I think this kind of stuff is just the brain rot of video game design. That you can have all of the mystery, all of the wonder figured out, and guides ready to go before the whatever the game, the DLC, whatever, is even out. And then to top that off, you then have people watching these reviews and forming their opinions. Like, this is 140,000 people who already know what to go in, what to expect. They already know what to expect, what to go in with. They already know what they're looking forward to. They already have a preconceived notion of this, and you haven't even played it yet. You haven't even played it yet. You know basically nothing about this other than what some dog shit, probably 1 out of 10 games journalists told you. And it's already massively affecting your opinions on it. But no, I think the best approach is just I think we had this figured out for a long time. You know, just if the game looks interesting, buy it and play it and then form your opinion. But nowadays, people will form their opinions because it's like right here. I love this. 120 plus hours of gameplay on blah, 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 blah. Okay, but like, what am I supposed to take away from this? Like, they're trying to make an appeal to authority here. We played this so much, so we know what we're talking about. Okay, but this is a Souls-like game. How do I know you didn't just spend 100 hours dying to some easy, you know, boss because you're a shitter and you didn't have a guide to follow because you're the ones making it? You know, you didn't know to just go run and, like, grab double katanas and, like, mimic tier and then, like, bleed out Melania in a corner. So you spent 120 hours just on the one boss. You know, how do I know that's not the case? I don't know. And that's the problem. You don't know either, you know? So when you read these reviews or watch this kind of stuff, it massively affects your opinion before you even have a chance to taste it. Anyway, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic. FromSoft has a literally spotless track record. Yes, even Dark Souls 2 is a really good game. No, I don't care what your favorite 5-hour-long video essay has to say. Because unlike you, I formulate my opinions by actually experiencing things and not just watching some goober talk about it forever. But, sorry, I just really hate people that are like, man, Dark Souls 2 is so bad. Watch this 7-hour review that says why. And it's like, okay, but like I don't need that. I could just go play the game and be like, yeah, that seems a little exaggerated. Anyway, I don't really have much else to say other than I really hope it's amazing, but my fingers are kind of crossed.